Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, yes, we continue talking about the elections and just looking ahead. I mean, most times we always pledge and ask for peace and non-violent elections. We're joined this morning by Mr. Isiaka, who is the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
Let's start talking about with the distribution of the PVCs. We do know that Ogun State, they had a peculiar case. What is the situation now about it?
Well, I think in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, I think it's been improving. What we had before now was about 40-something% distribution, but I'm aware that a couple of cars came in the last couple of hours. I don't know precisely what is the quantum. I'm also hearing that more are probably coming today. So perhaps at the end of this week or early next week, the percentage will have gone up quite high. But really, the important thing is that nobody that is entitled to vote should be denied from voting. So what we're talking about now is not even an issue of whether it's gone to 60% or it's gone to 70%. The issue is that everybody that require a PVC, how they go to get it at the end of the day. And that is the challenge to INEC. While this keep coming in trickles, the important thing is that election is just some 15 days away, the first election. How are we going to make sure that everybody that require PVC, gets it? I don't know how they're going to do it. We keep talking to them, and they kept giving us assurances that will happen. So let's wait and see, and hoping that will happen.
Well, much as yes, they need to get their PVCs, but you also have areas where the PVCs are there, but people are not coming out as much to collect it. We see that in several other states. How would you address that kind of matter?
Yes, as politicians, as stakeholders, we've been trying to address that. Excuses are given when we also put it across to them. We keep going to our people. There are even instances where people are encouraged that if you're able to get anybody that has a PVC, you can even be given some stipend for you to be able to do that. And that is what has been caused. But talking to INEC, the kind of thing you keep hearing is that some students, who registered and they graduated are affected. Then there are some cases of people that have died, and then some relocations. But again, I don't expect that all of that should come to the quantum of uncollected cards, as we are saying. So I think that there must still be some people who are there who have not come out, and that really is what INEC is trying to do now, is to take this thing to polling booths so that they go and distribute at polling booths. And I think that's what the promise they will start doing from today. So take it down to the polling booths so that they are the polling booths, at least people can come out of their rooms and come and collect. And then in addition to for the political class also supporting them and helping them. And we are doing all of that. So with all of that we are doing, and what we also expect them to bring, those ones that have not been brought, we expect that the numbers will go up quite high.
When you go around and you talk to your people, which exactly is on the high side? Those who are really not bothered about collecting their PVCs, or those that has yet to collect theirs?
So I didn't get that.
Which is high, on the high side? As Chamberlain asked his last question, there are those whose PVCs are there, but deliberately just don't want to go out and pick them up.
No, we say that is not that high.
That's not the case.
What we have are those PVCs that have not arrived, and that's why they keep bringing them. Like I said, what we have largely in Ogun State are those PVCs that are not arrived.
So what's the gist from INEC? Is it based on production or some form of logistics that has made it not?
Well, I think it's logistics. I'm told that the company or the factory where these things have been produced, they were on holiday at some point, and they have to go and get them to start work, and then that's why they're getting now. So I think it's more of logistics from their end. Again, the registration was delayed in some quarters in the state. When they brought the first set of cards, there are some local government, for instance, my local government, with nobody was even able to get any card at all. So they have to start registration all over, and this was done recently. So those ones, naturally, the cards will come late. There are some other places where maybe half of the wards will have their names listed. The other half, they have to start registration all over. So there are quite a number of units in Ogun State where registration were done all over, and that's why the cards are coming late. It's more of logistics in the area of producing the cards and then bringing them down to the state.
For the grassroots people, especially the traditional rulers, because the other party, the candidate who came on the program here, senatorial candidate from your state, he did say some traditional rulers are yet to pick up their PVCs as well. Are you getting complaints from any of the traditional rulers who are yet to pick up theirs?
Well, I'll be surprised. I don't know how long that will have been, but I'll be surprised if you have anybody that's that high up that has not picked up his PVC as at this moment, because now the elections are here. The first one will have been held, if not for the extension. And I'm not sure there are people at that level. I can imagine, farmers who probably are farming, their farm is, far off, and who have to come to town to the polling booth to come and register and collect card. I can understand those ones not wanting to leave their farm to come down to come and pick a card. To them, what does it mean to them? So we have to go out of our way to convince those ones, bring them down so that they can come and do it for. But for a traditional ruler, I'll be surprised if we still have a case like that. I mean, given the quantum of information and the push that we all put to it.
Is the push enough? Because we still think, for some other quarters, they think that the information out there to sensitize people on the need for them to go out and pick up their PVC and even sensitize people on how this will work out on election day is still not enough.
Well, if you consider the fact that we are going through all of this, and the whole essence of it is to win, and you cannot win if people don't vote. So I would not be doing myself any good if I don't push to the maximum that is possible. So we are doing everything that needs to be done on that side, and but of course, it's now for the things to be available. So I think the push is fairly enough, but INEC also has to, for instance, I just mentioned now that they've said they'll be calling to the polling booths. I mean, that's an effort on their side. That's also helping the situation. Because instead of me now convincing somebody to come from one faraway village and start coming to the local government headquarters to come and collect, now you can go to your polling booth and do this. So it's actually a combination of forces that will give us the answer. And I think with all that is going on, I see a lot of improvement in all of this.
Okay, now let us talk about how you eventually emerged. I know that you've emerged eventually, and you are the flag bearer of the PDP, but it was not an easy battle. And some people would say that they wonder if you've been able to get the support of the other PDP aspirants who campaigned alongside with you to be the flag bearer of your party. Do you think that the way you emerged might affect your chances at the polls?
Well, the politicians constitute barely 15–20% of total populace, voting populace. Yes, there is that 20% that give the push and does everything that needs to be done. But don't forget that this time around, we're not talking about primary, we're talking about general election. But having said that, we have to continuously seek for reconciliation. Nothing good comes easy, and I'm talking of a situation where we have about 13 or 14 aspirants, and only one person will emerge. They are bound to be, some of this kind of thing. But we have continued to talk to everybody that is involved, and I think that I'm sufficiently fine and confident that we will win the election.
It's important to note that, because people say that the reason why your party did not win the last time was because it was divided in itself. And as such, if you're divided again going to the polls, what are the chances that you're going to be winning the race against an incumbent this time around?
The nature of the division then is different from now. I mean, the division then led to another party coming out. But in this case now, all they're talking about now is everybody coming on the train. The division we are getting now, that's similar to the one we are describing in 2011, is actually happening to the opposition. SDP is coming out of APC. So the exact situation that you are describing is actually happening to other side now. But what I'm talking about now is internal reconciliation, which is ongoing. I mean, everybody is getting involved from the top, even outside the state, even from the national. We are getting into it. One of the gubernatorial candidates, I mean, aspirants, is the DG of my campaign organization now. I mean, the other one is the head of the media of my campaign organization. I mean, the other one. So we are doing all of this. Of course, that is not to say that we say one or two people we have to talk to, but all of that is going on. It's a long-winded process. It's not unusual in that kind of situation to have this, and we are taking good care of it with all the support from even from the top echelon of the party.
So why do you believe that you will trump this incumbent? Maybe aside the division that you've cited that happened within the APC in Ogun State, what else do you think will make you win the battle against an incumbent?
Yeah, because an average person in the state knows that this incumbent has not done well, is not doing well. It's a regime of visionless government and pluralism. I mean, most important things are being ignored, and I think that is very clear to the people. It's all about wastages. It's all about fair promises that we have, and I think that quite a lot of people in the state are not willing to risk another 4 years of what we have now, and that's the situation on ground. So like I said, that at the end of the day, these are the people that take the decision, and given the feeling we are getting from those people, I think that we're going to win.